very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's channel. This particular day for today's political conversation, my name is Jadiel Kabiro, joined by the one and only Herman Manyora for this show, a show that we say is simple, truthful, unbiased, and he puts it hard-hitting. Welcome, Sunset.
Thank you, Ojad.
Today's political conversation is based on talks from both sides. Azimio's side saying Kalonzo Musyoka is going to deputize Raila Odinga. When you come to Kenya Kwanza, Malala put it that Mudavadi should become the deputy president for William Samoei Ruto. No more, no less. It's that way for them. But the big question is, where will Mount Kenya be if they do not get a candidate over either presidential or someone to deputize both aspirants? And someone would want to know, where would they go to? You once said that Mount Kenya, we should prepare for a candidate from Mount Kenya. Do you still hold that thought that a presidential candidate will come from Mount Kenya? So let's say someone like Jimmy Wanjigi.
Yes, I've said that before, but you see, there's this talk that is gaining momentum of Kalonzo, and he was asked, I say, why you ask the obvious? Whether he will be the running mate. He said, why are you asking the obvious? And there's so much push to make him running mate. I'm not so sure Raila will make him. And there's so much push from Mudavadi.
Yeah.
So I think you are right. You have a very valid question.
Yeah.
What are we facing? What are we looking at? Supposing Ruto takes Mudavadi's running mate.
Okay.
Raila takes Kalonzo Musyoka. Where does that leave my in-laws? Where does that leave Mount Kenya people?
Yeah, that's a big
It's
question.
tricky. It's a big question.
Because right now the only person who's standing up showing that he's going to the ballot is Jimmy Wanjigi from Mount Kenya.
There is also Mwangi area, but you know, I said this quite a while back, and I've said it on several occasions. I'm not so convinced that the Mount Kenya people will walk into this election just supporting other people. They could spring a surprise, and you know, it may look far-fetched.
Yeah.
Around 2010, 2011, the country was almost certain that there will be no Kikuyu after Kibaki. It was almost a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
So when Ruto and Uhuru went to Mudavadi's home, Riverside, his former home, and they said they wanted, it came as no surprise.
Yeah.
But really, to the surprise of many Kenyans, Uhuru offered himself and he became president. So I don't think I would be surprised as much as other Kenyans if the Mount Kenya people produced a presidential candidate. It is in that light that I was arguing, I think about 2 years ago, that if there is going to be a third force, it can only come from Mount Kenya.
Okay.
And the Jimmy was that horse holding the card. Okay? So now, I understand through Safina Party, Jimmy Wanjigi wants to go the whole hog. Says William Ruto, we are good friends. We are campaigning against Raila, but I'm going to the wire.
Would you call him the third most popular candidate in the country? And does he have what it takes to become the third horse? You
know, so much goes for Jimmy Wanjigi. He's Mr. Fix-It, mysterious, you know, those kind of qualities. He has a shilling or two somewhere in his pocket. He's bold. Not many people can take on Raila Odinga. He did it successfully, you know that? Yeah. Not successful as to mean he managed Raila, but to face Raila.
He cost quite
I live in this country. And I know what Jimmy Wanjigi has done. Not many politicians can do. To take Raila and face him head on. It's not easy. But he's done that in ODM. He didn't quite succeed in the manner in which he might have wanted. So Jimmy Wanjigi, like I've said before, has a lot of boxes ticked. The only thing I said after some time was that he seemed to be falling in the hole in which many politicians fall. Namely, when you enter into politics, a lot of conmen and brokers surround you. Because I saw his trajectory was kind of wavering. But if he were to remain on course, he can swing a surprise.
What impact will he make if he goes straight up to the ballot and Mount Kenya doesn't have a representative, either presidential or deputy president in either
Let's
side?
put it this way. There are two things that are obvious. If Raila doesn't pick from Mount Kenya, Ruto doesn't pick, there will be anger in Mount Kenya. There will be anger. Whether you like it or not.
Even if Uhuru is supporting
yes,
Raila
there will be
Odinga.
anger. Unless Uhuru comes up openly and says, look here, gentlemen, we are taking the prime minister position and I'm going to be that prime minister. Or he names a person and says after Raila wins, we have 90 days to kickstart BBI, and in 6 months' time, we are looking at February, referendum, government is formed, a new government is formed in March, I will be there, or so and so will be there. Unless he does that, there will be a backlash from the mountain.
Okay.
People will not be happy in the mountain that they are not fielding a presidential candidate, neither are they even being offered running mate. That's the first thing. The second thing is apathy. The turnout will be so bad, William Ruto will be affected.
William Ruto?
Yeah, badly. Because William Ruto's force and power and the chances are based on a good turnout around the mountain and a good percentage of those people turning out, over 80% voting for him. If you antagonize, if you distort that, he'll get into a problem. So there will be poor turnout or apathy if you wish. But the third thing, and this is where Jimmy Wanjigi comes in. These guys can get annoyed. I said, we've been taken for granted. We want to support Ruto. Look at what he's doing to us. Some of us were supporting Raila. These guys think we can just support them like this. Okay?
Yeah.
We are going to have our own candidate. And if the Kikuyus are going to run their own candidate, you can see how Jimmy Wanjigi would come in.
Some would say that the mountain region might determine whether there will be a runoff or not.
That was the fourth thing I forgot, because I think I'm getting old. That is the fourth thing.
It just come to mind, and I'm thinking, if Jimmy goes straight up to the ballot, what will this mean for the 50+1 votes that each aspirant needs to get?
Now, if Jimmy Wanjigi were to run, he's running.
Yes.
If the scenario we are painting of Raila not taking Mount Kenya running mate, so the same applying to William Ruto, and if the Mount Kenya people take the third option I've given,
yes,
which is to vote for their own,
yeah,
perhaps even in anger,
yeah,
which will be just an excuse they need, basically. And if they run good numbers, if they put numbers on the table for Jimmy Wanjigi, two things again will happen.
Okay.
One, there will be runoff. Automatically.
For sure.
Oh, 100% sure. There will be a runoff.
Yeah.
And the second thing, which will surprise you, it will be between Jimmy Wanjigi and Raila Odinga.
You don't say. Jimmy Wanjigi and Raila Odinga leaving Ruto out?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Now listen. The success of William Ruto depends on the Mount Kenya votes. That is his home ground. He's banking on Mount Kenya more than Rift Valley.
Oh.
Okay. Yes. Because he wants to carry on the Jubilee votes of 2013 and 2017. They came from Mount Kenya, about 3/4, more than 3/4 from Mount Kenya. He gave only less than 2 million votes from Rift Valley. Of course, then you are picking 1 or 2 from across the country.
Yeah.
So there's no way Ruto can be a serious candidate without Mount Kenya. So if Jimmy Wanjigi were to take the Mount Kenya vote from William Ruto, he goes to number 3. Then you are facing a situation, and I think I did a video on this quite a while back.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a video on this. I said Jimmy Wanjigi could face Raila Odinga in. At the time, I was still looking at Jimmy Wanjigi as a very serious candidate. The way he came,
Yeah.
you know, he shook the ground.
Yeah.
He shook. When I did my first video, I said these Kikuyus can field a candidate, and that candidate can be Jimmy Wanjigi. First video, many people stopped me in town. I kept to run away because during Corona, people were surrounding me. Traffic jam, people would come to my car window and say, Manyora, what are you saying? I say, hey, wait a moment. It is possible. So, unless Raila is careful with his choice, and unless Ruto is careful with their choice, I'm not saying they must choose Mount Kenya, because Kalonzo Musyoka deserves it. He's a very good guy. He's been with Raila through thick and thin. If he didn't support Raila in 2013, Raila would not have been a candidate.
Yeah.
Same with 2017. So he deserves it. Mudavadi has risked so much for William Ruto. He's risked so much. Actually, Mudavadi has put his career, political career, on the line for Ruto.
Yeah.
So these two gentlemen deserve to be considered. But the ripple, the effect, the impact of Raila and Ruto picking running mates outside Mount Kenya will have ramifications that will change the entire political landscape.
Some would ask, there is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. You call him the president, you call him an institution. The name Kenyatta is an institution.
Yes.
Might people go against him and support Jimmy Wanjigi if Raila Odinga is still in play?
Between me and you, Uhuru will even be happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
If people support Jimmy Wanjigi?
Yes. Between me and you, don't tell anybody. How the viewers have not heard. Yeah. Because he would be hoping, you know, people, even in constituencies, people are happy when certain people stand. You get it?
Yeah.
So he will be hoping if Jimmy Wanjigi is going to be accepted in around the mountain, that means Ruto is out of the equation. But you will also be hoping, if you are Uhuru Kenyatta, that the figure he will get will not be significant. He will not be significant for him to upstage Raila Odinga. But more importantly, because this thing will go to a runoff, you can imagine the anger from Rift Valley against the Kikuyus. They will vote for Raila. They won't vote for so that's what Uhuru will be hoping.
So Uhuru needs as many aspirants as possible in the mountain.
He's not bothered.
When you look at what Jimmy Wanjigi is saying, he's calling this an Etwika moment, a generational change moment. This narrative of his coming to say that all these people should be taken away with, because this new generation of people who have not been in government, people with idealistic ideas that can build this country, need to take over government, the new generation. Is this narrative going to sell for him if he goes all the way?
I've always said what Jimmy Wanjigi is saying is true, but we differ in one or two ways. This is a generation period. So I say it's generation, and Raila can carry this to the next generation. Because how? How can a man approaching 80 years be the one to carry the generational flag?
Okay.
They don't understand. It is a change into a new way of doing things, into a new political and economic order. So Jimmy is talking about the new economic order. Okay? An economic revolution, which Raila is also talking about.
Yeah.
But in terms of generation, when you are talking about young versus old, it is the old way of doing things more than the age. So unfortunately for Jimmy Wanjigi, when we look at the people in terms of age, it's not the age you are 50, somebody else is 70 or 80. No. It is you've been around.
Okay.
Those who've been around are people who must give on, must hand over this baton to another new crop of leaders. You cannot absolve yourself. You have been part of this game.
Yeah.
It does not matter how young you are. It does not matter that you are 54 or 55-year William Ruto. You've been around from 1992. You've been part of the game. It does not matter whether you are as old as Raila. You've been around. You have been part of this game from in the 80s. It does not matter whether you are Rango and you are 70-something. You are just as old or as young as Jimmy Wanjigi.
Can it go ahead and beat the hustler nation now? Because one side Ruto is hustler nation, and then this Jimmy Wanjigi's one is the Etwika generational change. These are some sort of narratives that are being
all these are narratives.
Can Etwika moment beat hustler nation?
You know, the hustler nation has been so entrained to remove it. It's not just a question one narrative versus the other. It is like I'm saying, it is, since our politics is regional, ethnic, it has to be propelled by ethnicity. It's unfortunate. It's not enough to say Etwika moment. It's not enough to say hustler. Oh no, economic revolution, no. Where is the tribal spice in this? You must spice the whole thing. Pepper it with ethnic considerations. And that's why I'm saying it's not a question so much about hustler. That hustler thing will burst into nothing. If the Kikuyus in particular and the Mount Kenya in general decide that we've been sidelined by Raila, we've been sidelined by Ruto, this is our thing. It will not be a question of which narrative. No, it will just be raw ethnicity. And they will just back Jimmy Wanjigi because they say these guys are spiting us. What are these guys doing to us? We want to support them. But they don't see us fit for running mate position. Okay, let's show them. And available to take that piece of cake will be Jimmy Wanjigi. That's how he comes in.
Let me then ask you this.
Yes.
Should Ruto consider Jimmy Wanjigi as his deputy though? Should he consider Jimmy Wanjigi so that he can mitigate some of these problems that may arise?
That is okay, but it has its dangers too.
Oh.
What do you do to those who have been dying with you? Rigathi Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoros, Alice Wahomes, Kimani Ichung'wah. What do you tell them? That a Johnny come lately, as some cliche goes, a guy just happens around the corner, then you forget us. You see what's happening in Ukambani?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah,
Ngilu,
Alfred Mutua,
Mutua, Kibwana. Now look here. We've been dying with Raila. We've been selling him. We've been called names.
Yeah.
Then Kalonzo comes from nowhere. So it will be much more difficult for Ruto if he chose Jimmy Wanjigi. I see Jimmy Wanjigi. Jimmy Wanjigi anapiga hii hesabu. Anaona hii hesabu. He's just praying that Raila takes Kalonzo. And maybe Ruto takes Mudavadi. And I'm telling you, he'll be a dangerous candidate. That I can tell you.
Dangerous candidate?
Dangerous, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in into today's political conversation. This is Which Way for Mount Kenya. If Deputy President William Ruto chooses Musalia Mudavadi, ANC party leader, as his deputy, and Raila Odinga chooses Kalonzo Musyoka as his deputy, where will the mountain go? Will Jimmy Wanjigi pop up and become president? Well, leave us a comment down below.
Can we say one thing to our viewers? We forgot that we are planning to go into full swing, live streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should prepare for us.
We want to do it daily. Prepare. Tell a friend to subscribe.
Yes, subscribe. Wait for live streaming, 7:30 to 8:30.
Yeah.
Talking about the politics of the day until election time and after.
Itambe.
Live streaming.
Hashtag Itambe.
Yes,
Itambe. To have these conversations. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Please go ahead and subscribe, tell your friends that we'll be live streaming, and click the notification bell.